Hello YouTube, Starward mode is here. Normally I would wait for all the Starward modes to come out and compile them into my account update videos, but it is a big change to the endgame, so I figured to do something different, and for this one just to do a first impressions right away, see how it goes on the Firefly vertical account. For those who don't know, regular mode of the endgame is still here. But now you can turn on Starward mode, which brings up a third boss. And the reward for that is 100 more Stellar Jade. The time restrictions on completing everything are a little bit tighter than before. So now you need 10,200 points, which translates to 3,400 per side, which is 100 points more required than in the regular mode. But I also believe that the third boss is a bit more difficult than the regular two that you face. Although my understanding is these don't really change from the regular mode. So let's get right into it. Actually, wait, did they make Cocolia thicker? I don't remember this happening before. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright, we are back on the Firefly vertical account. For those who don't know, we only have 3 teams on this account, plus the free-to-play Archer stuff that MiHoYo was giving us. Let's see how these line up into the 3 stages. First boss is Iker. Elation, not useful for us. Ally target debuff crit damage. Okay, that's M-Blades, Acheron stuff. Not useful for DoT, unfortunately. Break speed. Okay, so this is what we want, and we're gonna use Firefly Break. This boss was kind of designed for her Nova Flare, as well as Dahlia. Cocolia's back, right? So physical. This is the Finon Shield debuff, Elation, and follow up. Okay. Normally, I've been actually using follow-up a lot on fighting Iker, fighting Flame Reaver, but if they're gonna give us a buff, we'll use it. And the last one, hopefully we have DoT here. We do. So Erudition, that's the Herta buff, Mem Team, and DoT. So the one nice thing about this mode is that you are kind of guaranteed to have some place to put your team and use it, because now there's going to be 9 buffs instead of just 6. So, you know, if you have like an HP loss team or something, there's probably a place for it, or you have like a good matchup. The problem obviously comes if you have a side that has 2 buffs for 2 of your teams on the same side. So then it gets a little bit more complicated, and I think you'll have to balance of whether the boss matches up well versus the buffs and making it work. I'm a little worried because Flame Reaver, I believe, is supposed to be the hardest boss of this new Starward mode, being the 3rd one. And DoT is my least developed team, with no light cones and few Eidolons on it. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so this is, I believe, Iker's first time as an Apocalyptic Shadow boss. So the mechanics are a little different than before. One thing I learned is these enemies, when they die, their bodies don't despawn. And you need to kill every single one of them to actually proceed to the next stage. So focusing this Iker will actually be a mistake. Instead we focus on the wings. Okay, I don't think we can quite kill this with a Firefly. Advance. I'm probably actually satisfied with just Firefly getting this E2. Okay, so now we get actual advancement to the Iker boss. And now it's just a matter of whittling down his toughness. One thing you might be worried about is the execute attack, and I found that the execute attack in this mode does a lot less damage than it does in MOC or the other versions of the boss. So that's not it's something you do still have to pay attention to. Picking your lowest health character for it is a mistake, but otherwise it's not that big a deal. Alright, buddy. Okay, so here, this breaks and advances everybody. Do I actually want that? I kind of want Firefly to be the one to break. I think I can make that happen. So we're gonna sacrifice some AV here just to make sure that she gets this action advance. Yeah, so here we just make sure that Dahlia doesn't break. And now we break with Firefly. So she gets her E2 Resurgence, which will kill the boss, and then she still gets a turn right after because she got advanced. Okay, not bad. The boss does waste a lot of time with this breaking phase. 1846 AV. Okay, so we get a repeat of previous phase. Unfortunately, we can't get a resurgence here unless we attack one of these on the side. Okay. You probably do it like this. Just basic here, whittled on this toughness. This is a bit wasteful. Dahlia was on 0 AV, but that's fine, I guess. Sure, let's just get out of this phase. Okay, so yeah, so I can't break this because killing this, like this, will cause these enemies to become untargetable, and the left and right bird will not become connected, so I have to break them like this. Okay. Rabbits are still far away, we can link ult here. Toughness damage is pretty valuable. Yeah, this is also fine. Firefly can get the kill. Okay, this is all safe. Does this get us into... Yep, perfect. Now we get action advanced before the Firefly turn ends, but this is over. Let's give this to Firefly. Basic. Okay. Kokoya hasn't been in Apocalyptic Shadow in a while. I think the last time was probably when Valinon released. Back then we used Follow-Up to beat her as well. But that was a very different team back then. We were still using Gallagher, Hunt, March, and so we've gotten a decent number of upgrades since then. We have Ashvale, we have Dan, and of course we have Feixiao's E2 now. So I expect this to be a lot easier. This is probably gonna get us our ults here. Yeah. So here we go and move these the bait over to the lances. And just not to waste any Feixiao charges, I am going to use her ult here. I think we're going to use it on Kokoya. This does toughness damage regardless. Now we use this trigger. Is this going to kill? No, unfortunate. Okay, I guess we have to kill it this way. So the bait goes to Japard, but in the past you would have had to kill him before his 3rd turn so he doesn't shield her, but I think now we can just ignore him. Because if you kill this phase of Cocolia before his 3rd turn, he just doesn't do anything and despawns, which I think is actually something they should maybe change. Maybe have him stay instead of one of the lances or something. I don't know. Okay, so they freeze Ashvale. That's actually probably fine. I don't know if Ashvale's gonna get a turn here. Because it gets cleansed. And we can just break like this. Yeah, so everybody gets advanced. I think I can just use an ult here. Okay, and so you see how we're just destroying her? Japard doesn't get to do anything. And so you kind of start to see why they introduced this mode, because if you're not that interested in Anomaly Arbitration, which I do believe is harder than this, then you kind of don't have anything to do in the endgame. This is sort of unfortunate. The timing of that. Alright, let's kill our own lance at least. Let's kill the wind one. Yeah, we can just do this again. Get another Feixiao ult. Okay, so now we don't actually have to move the bait. I can just kill this again. And keep the bait on her. Okay, so now she's vulnerable to wind and thunder. Perfect. Ah, no. Nuts. Wasted some energy there because of lag. Okay. Cool. Feixiao is back inside the Robin ult with her Eagle advances. Okay, so now we have our Robin turn. Kind of doubt that we can break her inside this, but we can try. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit too far away. Okay, this actually might be really close to breaking her. Oh, we get advanced in front of her, so she's actually not going to get a turn. I don't think this breaks her. Perfect. Yeah, so this breaks her, and now everybody just gets advanced again. We don't even have to do all this, just Feixiao ult and kill. GG. Okay, Flame Reaver. This boss, we see him constantly, but in 8-Box Shadow, I think the last time we saw him here was when Archer released. Because I remember back then, I had to do this with like a very budget Archer team. I didn't have the DoT team yet. So the first phase, you just have to kill his ghosts and advance into the next phase. Like this. So he's going to spawn a whole bunch of ghosts now. And the main thing here is that these ghosts, when they die, they give the person that killed them an extra turn. So I actually don't want to kill him right away. Interesting, so the extra turn went to Hysolence? Yeah, I guess it did. I guess her dot was what killed it. Well, that's kind of confusing. Okay. Okay, ideally we kill this ghost on the left before it takes a turn. And perfect. So I think this is gonna kill it. And Swan got the extra turn. That's definitely not ideal. He's gonna take his turn. And now we have a phase where we just get to hit his toughness bar directly. And then he spawns more ghosts. And we repeat. Okay. So focus fire this ghosts. Okay, Hysolence. Can we get this extra? Who does this go to? Let's see. Okay, so it did go to Hysolence this time. And just infinite ult spam because of the whimsicality, or whatever it's called. And he breaks. Okay, so now we're gonna get action advanced, which is fine. I'm gonna save that Huo ult for now. This one I will use. Get it out of the way. Interesting, that sound cut out. Okay. No, just basic. Does this kill? Oh, tragic. Not quite. Well, he's gonna spawn ghosts. And we've repeated again. So, he does waste, like, a lot of time doing this. It's kind of annoying. Okay. This should one-shot the ghosts? No? Do I want to phase them right away? Okay, that's fine. So ghosts come out. Yeah. This is even better than it was before. Because in the old videos you would see this being done with the Nova Flared Kafka. But with Hysolence detonating as well, it's just so strong. Okay. No, not enough energy. Get our ult out. Okay, Hysolence got that extra turn. That's probably fine. Okay, it's not fine. That was wasted energy, but it'll do. It'll do. Okay. Focus fire this ghost. Swan gets that turn. Not that significant. Get some more kills on these ghosts. Okay. And honestly, this doesn't feel that hard. This feels actually on par with the other modes. Obviously it's going slower, but I think a big part of that is how this boss's mechanics work. And I think that's one of the bad things about this new mode is, like, if you're not on an account that can do it very easily quite yet, because you're a new player or something, regret some of your investing decisions, then the way these apocalyptic shadow bosses stall you can get pretty frustrating, I imagine. But okay, let's do it like this, and then one more detonation. And then maybe this gets us another high soul insult. It does. I think this just gets us an action advance after breaking him. I doubt he survives this. Yeah, so everybody advances. Sure. She got an extra turn, interesting. Okay, how do I want to do this? I do probably want to use this right away. Okay. And that's it, 1652. So, the weakest score, but it is the weakest team. I think in general, this mode is mostly free Stellar Jade as long as you get 3 teams going. Alright, let's wrap things up. Final score, 11,300. To get the star, you need 10,200, so over 1,100 action value and breathing room. Pretty good. When the mode was announced, there was a lot of anxiety that this was going to make the Stellar Jade endgame as difficult as Anomaly Arbitration, and this is definitely not that. Your account is not cooked. Obviously, we still have to see Starward, Memory of Chaos, and Pure Fiction, and things could change over time, but right now this is just the regular endgame we've had so far, but with one more boss. I think the reason they did this is because going from the Jade endgame to Anomaly Arbitration was a big shock for most accounts. You now needed a 3rd team, and the stages were more difficult, so all your teams needed to be stronger as well. This Starward mode provides a middle ground. So first you get a 3rd team, just so that you can do Starward, and now that you have 3 teams, you can start thinking about doing Anomaly Arbitration. It's a more natural progression. I also think this change is good for people who are horizontal players. You like to play a lot of different teams, but your teams don't end up being very strong, so they're constantly being replaced by new teams. Well, now with a 3rd stage, it's more likely that you will take one of those alt teams off the bench once in a while and use them for a stage because they have a good buff or boss matchup. In general, because the difficulty hasn't really changed and because your score is shared, so your strongest teams can help you out your weakest teams, unlike in Anomaly Arbitration, I'd say there's no real reason to pull specifically for Starward mode. But if you're looking to get started with it and need a 3rd team, then the Fate collab teams or the new Himiko coming in the next patch are your best bet. All of those teams will be functional with basically 1 character and light cone pull, and all of them have decent eidolons for long-term investment. Anyway, subscribe and like, join the Discord to discuss this new mode with the community. The link is in the description. I'll see you in the next one.